As most of you know, following the tragic death of actor Paul Walker, the production of Fast and the Furious 7 was put on hold. The film was reportedly about halfway done filming when the accident occurred. Yesterday, director James Wan took to his Instagram account and announced through an image that the film has started shooting again. John, what do you think about the hiatus the film was on and the restart of shooting?
Well, the hiatus was understandable. I mean, we were faced with a very difficult situation halfway through filming, you know, when the whole thing went down. So, I mean, you have to feel for, obviously the big tragedy is the passing of Paul Walker. Now, that being understood and that aside, you got to feel for the guys trying to organize putting this movie together, really put them in a precarious situation and how to move forward with this. I'm actually amazed a little bit how fast they were able to get everything back on track. Because you think about this. Think about the busiest day you have in your schedule, where you've got like 8 appointments you got to make, and if one thing gets nudged out, everything goes to hell. Well, that's what like shooting these movies are. They have these things scheduled, like hour by hour, day by day, and then as soon as that movie's done, you've got 300 creative people that need to then disperse and go off and do all these other movies. The fact that they were able to reassemble everybody this quickly and get everything moving again is just outstanding. Now, there are still people I've heard, you know, talking about this, and we've addressed this before, that, you know, well, first of all, there's the complete moronic idea that, oh, they should have just not made Fast 7. That's just stupid. Yeah. Then there was the other notion of, you know, they should have done this, they should have done that. I'm still of the belief that it might have been a really nice thing to do to bring in another actor who was, say, friends and like tight with Paul Walker to pick up his role for Paul in Paul's memory and continue on. But I'm also very good with the decision they did make and decide to, like, say, let's figure out a way to shoot 1 or 2 extra scenes utilizing CGI or whatever to retire the character and then move the movie on without him. I have no problem with the way they just decided on. I'm very curious to see how the way it turns out. But yeah, overall, stunned that they were able to this quickly pull everything back together. I'm impressed. Schnepp, what do you think?
Well, I mean, as we were talking about, movies are shot out of order as well. Like, you know, they're gonna like make sure, like, hey, if we're shooting in the police set, let's get all those scenes. Maybe there's a beginning, maybe there's an end scene. They try to get all those before they move to an entire different location. Yeah. So we also don't know how many scenes, even though they said they were halfway done shooting, they might have only had 1/5 of Paul Walker, or they might have had 4/5 of Paul Walker.
Yeah, we don't know.
So we don't know the use of stunt doubles, body doubles with a CG mask. I mean, we've come so far that if they're able to do that with sound-alikes for a couple of scenes and able to rewrite a couple of those sequences and move some scenes around, I think it is I'm really happy that they were able to, like with Heath Ledger with the Parnassus film, they were able to save his last performance by doing a couple of things. I can't say I like that movie that much, but I'm hoping this movie they're able to reconstruct it in such a way that it is an honorable way to say goodbye to their pal. So yeah, it's pretty amazing they were able to get it done so quickly, but I'm happy they're on track.
Christian?
Yeah, it's also a big thing when you think about James Wan, because he's running, he's coming into this franchise now, and he's like, oh, okay, I'm moving away from all the horror stuff, and now I'm getting myself into this big franchise that's successful. I know I can handle it. And then this tragic thing happens. Right. And as James Wan, I think from that aspect, you have to take a break, because it's like, I want to show respect also to these actors. I know it wasn't solely his responsibility, you know, his decision, but when the meetings are being held, he's like, yeah, let's take the break, because it gives him time now to work with his writers and to give his cast, because you don't give them a break. You're talking about emotions, and an emotion's not good for the screen. So it was crucial that they took this break. And I also think that, again, bringing up another movie like The Crow, to where they move stuff around to fit the loss of an actor, I think this was something that's going to work out in the long run. I am also glad they're retiring the character. I'm sure they'll do it in a respectful way, and it's just sad that it happened.
You know, it's fun. I'm glad you brought up that point, because it's easy for us and guys like me to get focused on the logistics of this, but you're right, there's an emotional element to this. You know, not all the time. A lot of people think, oh, you know, Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans must be really tight because they're in movies together. No, not the case. But Vin Diesel and Paul Walker were tight. They were very tight. And the emotional impact, I've read several articles about really how devastated
Tyrese
Vin
broke
Diesel,
down at his grave.
Tyrese, I mean, they were so tight. Paul Walker was so infinitely likable and really did make a connection with a lot of the guys he worked with. And you're right, I think we lose sight sometimes of the emotional impact of it all.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.